I could have the worst day. I could come home. One of them could have pooped or threw up on the floor, and they are just looking at me like, hey, girl, hey. How's your day?
I'm Jen Moroz, and this is Furball Confidential. Adrienne C has played some truly standout roles. Remember when everybody was talking about Orange is the New Black? Adrienne was a big part of that. She played inmate Cindy Hayes, aka Black Cindy, who was doing time at the all-female penitentiary. In this scene, another inmate is asking Cindy for a sneaky favor.
I'd be very grateful if you could retrieve it for me.
Bitch! If Grateful paid the bills, we'd all be Bill Gates.
Adrienne went on to play Detective Kelly Duff in 3 seasons of Pretty Hard Cases.
Please, Duff. Actually, I prefer the Duffinator.
Adrienne is also known as a committed stage actor, but one of her most important roles is working as an advocate for rescue animals. And she's a proud dog mama to Lola, Mowgli, and Dodson too. Their arrival into her life, as you'll hear, was truly meant to be, and they are a close family. As soon as Adrienne sat down for this conversation, Dodson appeared, and so we started our chat with a 55-pound lab pit bull mix sitting in Adrienne's lap. Adrienne, thank you so much for coming on Furball Confidential with Dodson.
Yes, one of the 3.
Oh my goodness.
We just had a walk today, so he's a little tired.
Oh, I
gave him a nice long walk today.
And you were just saying before that Dodson is 4, but you have also Lola and Mowgli. And I want to start with them too, because I was on their Instagram, of course. And I went back to the very, very first post that they made.
Yes.
And they said of you, boy, does she ever have a lot of love to give. And I'm just curious, was that something that you knew before bringing them into your life? Or is that something that you discovered when they came into your life?
I think both, if I can be honest. I mean, I've always had a big love for animals. I was that kid growing up who spent time down at the creek, trying to catch and keep crawdads and snakes and fish that I'd find. If a bird fell out of the tree, I'd bring it home and be like, Mommy, we have to help the bird, It even continues in my adult life because he was someone that I found on the street as a little puppy in Atlanta. So I've always had this huge, sort of affection for animals. I think they teach us really how to be patient, how to love, how to care for something that, for the most part needs help in order to take care of.
Right.
He could be on his own, I'm sure, and make his way. But I mean, who wouldn't want someone loving on them? They give it right back,
Yeah, and to be out on I know we project ourselves onto dogs a lot, but my dog too is a rescue and was on the streets. And you got to think that how scary would that be, being alone on the streets, right?
Oh, and especially
terrifying.
as you get to know the dog and you see, how dependent upon you they are, or how, certain things that scare them or trigger them or make them feel uncomfortable, and you're just like, oh my goodness, I can never, leave this dog without some, supervision, because how will it survive? I was at a dog park the other day, and one of the dog parents was telling me that someone had left a dog there.
Like abandoned the dog there.
Abandoned the dog at the park. And I couldn't believe it, because I just thought about like, well, I mean, I can see how these guys are when they, are helpless.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine.
I know. And honestly, you see those videos and sometimes they capture them and they're heartbreaking, but of people dumping their dog out of their car and just leaving. And
that's what I think his story was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was just on the side of the street.
Your little lap dog there.
My little big lap dog.
Oh my God.
Okay,
He's so
Dottie, can I have
beautiful.
a moment? Can you,
Your moment in the limelight is over.
Thank you.
Oh, how sweet.
And now the little ones are gonna make their little entrance.
Well, who was that? Whose bark was
That's
that?
Mowgli.
Okay.
And here they come. See,
Okay, come
once
on.
one
Bring 'em
gets
on.
off the lap, then the other one has to make their fill in,
Amazing.
and so
Oh
here
my.
they go.
Oh, that's Mowgli right there, right?
That's
That you're
Mowgli
petting?
growling. Oh
Yeah.
no, this is Lola, my
Lola.
girl, and
Oh.
then this is Momo with the ball always in his mouth.
Oh my gosh. That is
He is
definitely going to
always going
be
to have a ball
a
in his
social
mouth,
clip right there.
which is probably why he's growling, because he thinks Dodson wants the ball.
Oh,
which
right.
he probably does.
Right.
Lola, your head is in the way.
Oh my God. It's okay. This is the one podcast where you can have pets all over the place and we just don't care. It's so obvious now that Lola and Mowgli were meant to be with Adrienne. I mean, look at them. But like a lot of good stories, their adoption journey wasn't exactly a straight line.
I had been volunteering with the ASPCA, doing work with them for years. And I feel like I have to preface it with this story because the year prior to them coming into my life, I had just done this campaign with the ASPCA with these two little brown and black puppies. And Leslie Klotz, who worked for the organization at the time, I think she still worked there. She was like, these dogs are up for adoption if you want them. And I was like, I can't take on any dogs right now. My life was chaotic and crazy. I was traveling everywhere. Fast forward to several months after that, they sent me the photo of me and the dogs. And I just put it up in my house. Like, okay, well, I can't have dogs right now, but at least, they'll be in the house. Well, I don't know how you feel about manifestation, but I believe when you want to bring in the things in your life, you put them up, right? You write about it.
It's like
you
a
make
vision
visuals,
board.
You make a visual of it, all the things. And so I think that picture of it being in my house invited them into my life, because literally that following year I was back in California and a friend was like, hey, my friend works for this organization called Hope for Paws. They just got some puppies in. You had kind of mentioned you were teetering between wanting a dog or not. Would you mind fostering? And that's how the whole thing started. And initially, I just was going to be fostering Lola, my black one.
Hi, Lola.
But the day before they brought her to me as a little 8-week-old puppy, they said, we have one more dog that we couldn't foster, her brother. Would you mind taking him? And I was like, sure, not really thinking what was in store for me. But now I have my black and brown puppies that I had taken that picture with the year before. So that's what I was saying, that whole like full circle moment.
Full circle. Yeah. And for you, when you were fostering these puppies, like puppies they're no joke.
Lot.
Like they're a lot, right? Like how did that play out for you?
I had several breakdowns. I had several meltdowns, several moments where I'm like, because the foster at the time was telling me that I could, they were like, if you're interested in keeping them, you can only keep one. And so it was like every day, every week, it was like a trade-off depending on which dog was the worst that day. Like if one of them had pooped and peed in the house, I was like, that's it. You're the one that's going to go back to the foster. And then they would do something sweet. And then I'd be like, oh, how could I? But the moment that really transpired for me was, I had just lost my dad again that prior year. And so I was going through a lot of emotional feelings, right? And it just happened to be one of those days I was really missing him and really thinking about him. And I was, had this breakdown. I was, had melted down onto the floor crying. And Lola climbed up in my little lap, put her paws like right on my chest, and just started licking all of my tears. And then Mowgli climbed into my lap and just like put his paw, because I was sitting like in a cross-legged form, and he put his paws like on my knee and just like sat there. And it just, for me, it was like this moment of them saying, I'm here for you. We're here for you. And ever since then, I was like, they're both mine.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And
Said
you
they're
said
both
before though
mine.
that that the rescue had said, oh, you can only take one, but clearly you convinced them
Yeah.
otherwise.
And I did, because she was ready to take one. I said, what do I have to do? I was like, look, we could do this off the books.
Right. Just
Whatever
under the
we got to do.
table.
I'm
Yeah.
taking both of them.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
And they were so bonded,
Yeah.
as puppies. And Lola, as a baby, was so shy and timid. And Mowgli was just a big ball of energy and very, confident, even as a puppy. And so he's helped build her confidence. And even now, with the big one, he kind of protects her from him, even though there's no reason. He still like stands in between the way whenever he gets too close to her. It's funny.
It's like Big Brother. Like, but
Mm-hmm.
although he's younger, I know, but like
Well,
that big.
Dodson he's the younger one, but the bigger one, and
Yeah.
Mowgli is the little one, but the older one. And trust me, we call him the general around here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He runs the show.
Who, Mowgli or Dodson?
Mowgli, for sure.
Okay, the little one.
He's not one bit scared of Dodson.
Now tell me about the Dodson story, because I know you got Mowgli and Lola during Orange is the New Black, so back in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 4 years later that you find Dodson on the streets of Atlanta. What happened there?
I'm trying to remember where we were at in that place of life. I think COVID had just kind of was kind of happening, and I went home to Atlanta, or my childhood home, to see my mom before heading to back to Toronto, because I was filming in Toronto at the time. And I'm, saying my goodbyes to my friend, the little bye circuit that you do before you head out of town the next day.
Yeah.
And so I was heading home from that, and it was like midnight. Like I need to paint this picture just to see, just so you see how this dog was purposed in my life. So I was driving home, and I was taking the back roads. I was trying to remember if I could remember all the back roads, to get to my mom's house, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I totally know.
And I kept like missing that one turn, and then the next turn to like get the shortcut. And I was like, and this was the last shortcut that I could take before I'd have to go like all the way around to get, back to my mom's house. But I hated that street. Jen, because when I was in high school, my mom sent us out for like a quick errand, and we were just learning how to drive, and we got pulled over by the cops, and we didn't know like where our ID was at the time, like in the glove compartment. And the cop was like telling us, like threatening us that he was going to take our parents to jail. And also I had a bad association with the street.
Yeah.
But I took it anyway because it was the last street that I could take. And this little dog was sitting on the side of the road on Dodson. That's the name of the street. On Dodson, just sitting there at midnight. And I rolled past him, and I'm thinking like, okay, maybe somebody's out here late at night with their dog walking around. So I pulled up, looked at him in my rearview mirror. He looks back at me. No one comes. I roll down the window. I'm like, hello, hello. No one responds. I back up. I get out of the car, and he smells around me, and then he just plants himself right in between my legs.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, wow. I guess you're coming with me. So I brought him back to my mom's house. I woke my mom up. I was like, found a stray.
But it sounds like she might have been used to that.
And you know exactly what she said to me? She said, I'm not surprised. And so I said, Mom, you know what? Because she was taking me to the airport the next day. I said, just take him to a nearby shelter. I'm sure he'll be good. So the next morning, she drops me off at the airport. He's still on my mind. And I say, you know what? If I can change my flight without any penalty, then I'll go back home and I'll figure out what to do with him.
Like that's your sign. If you
right.
do it
and
without
of course,
the penalty.
They changed my flight without penalty to the next day. So I went home and I tore up Atlanta, like getting this dog chipped and labeled and the missing report and all the things. And no one, stepped forward. I left him with someone in Atlanta. And I said, in case someone comes back to claim him, or, if you want to keep him, just whatever. And so...
so at the time, were you thinking, I'm going to save this dog, but I don't know that I'm going to take it on for him?
1,000%. Like,
okay.
I have these two, I have Lola and Mowgli. Like, my cup runneth over, okay?
Right.
So I go to Canada. I check in, pretty infrequently to see how the dog is doing. I get back 7 months later. It's Christmas time. And I'm like, I wonder how this dog is doing. How is the dog? And I reach out to the person that I had left him with. They didn't have him anymore. So you can imagine I was in like panic mode. And I said, I just want to know that the dog is okay. If the dog is okay with whatever life he's in, then that's fine. But just find the dog and let me know that he's okay. Through several calls and several people that he had been passed through, I was able to locate him. And I won't get into the full details of it, but I'll say this. When I saw him again, because of the state he was in, I said, can I take the dog back?
Yeah. Good for you.
And so I took him back. And it was with the promise that unless I or someone could do better for him, he was just going to stay with me.
Oh, what a story, eh?
I think I'm out of my mind, though.
Well, listen, we all are when it comes to our dog love, but like at every single juncture, it's almost as if, like you said, like things are meant to be. Like everything was pulling you back to this dog.
Yeah.
That's wild. You told me a little bit about them at the beginning, but I find like every dog has a very distinct personality. So if you were to go through like Mowgli and Lola and Dodson, what are they like as like individuals?
Mowgli is every bit his name. Like in the Jungle Book, he is mischievous. He's chill, but yet like there's always something working in the back of his mind. I think there's you talk about their Instagram page. There's a video I posted of him trying to get a ball that I placed on top of the crate. And he was trying to, just kind of reach up with his paws to get it, but that wasn't helping him. So he devised a way to jump up on top of the crate and get the ball and move on, just to only satisfy his own need of wanting to play ball. So he's very much a mischievous, take charge, entertain himself, relaxed kind of dog. Lola is every bit of a lap dog, and she will let you know it. If she likes you, she will want to cuddle up in your lap, and you must pet her without ceasing. The minute you stop, she will paw you and let you know that is not.
I am familiar with that paw. Yeah.
Right. And so a few years ago, I don't know if you see it now, I had to have her teeth pulled.
Oh.
And so she forever. This is a low one. But when it gets
tongue?
Her tongue sticks out. But when it gets really long, it's like all the way down here.
Oh, and she's like a Lola and Lola.
She gives good tongue, but she's every bit spoiled. I had their DNA tested some, years ago, and I mean, they're base Chihuahua, but they have miniature Pinscher, miniature Schnauzer, all the lap dog breeds.
All into one. I love it.
And she even has a little bit of pit bull in her.
Yeah.
And then,
one of the things I've got to say about rescues, I'm just going to say it out loud for this audience, is that if there's a rescue, a lot of them have pit bull in them, and they're wonderful dogs too.
Very wonderful. And that to me was the lesson with him, because I even had my own apprehension. When I found him, when he came back into my life, I said, I don't know how this is going to fare. But I had him tested, and he has Labrador Retriever.
You can see that.
And it's almost like split down the middle. And so again, I work with a trainer. I always advocate, if you have a dog or an animal, bring a trainer into the house. It makes your life and their life so much better, because you're able to understand communication.
Agree.
And so I always bring trainers in. My two little ones are service animals. Mowgli, he's a therapy dog, so he actually goes to hospitals and learning centers and he works with adults or kids with disabilities.
Wow.
So I had to like really make sure their training was top par. And with him being a pit bull, I was like, people are going to look at him and be intimidated. So I have to make sure that he's bulletproof. He's not, he's like 75% bulletproof. As he gets older, he's calming down, but I had to learn it's his energy. You know, he has that Labrador and he has that pit bull energy, which are very much on 10. And through a trainer, I had to learn how to utilize that in a positive way. And so one of the things that I do with him, I keep it very physical. We run on the bike. I throw Frisbee with him. He likes to pull. So I do exercises with him, that
like
cause
tug?
him to pull. Yeah. He the Labrador Retriever. He likes to find things. So my mom, when I'm visiting her in Atlanta, she has a huge like acre property and a lot of it's wooded. And so I'll go take a ball and I'll go hide it in the trees and somewhere, and he'll spend 30 minutes or more looking for it and be so tired after that. So it's like engaging his mind and his body is what makes him a happy dog.
Like any good pet owner, Adrienne knows how to keep her pups happy. But it's a two-way street. They give her so much joy and comfort on a daily basis, and that made her realize that they could also help others as therapy dogs.
With the chaos that comes with this business, and the traveling, they have become a calming sense of constancy and consistency for me.
Yeah, I bet.
Walking them, taking care of them, you know, even if my schedule is like jam-packed that day, just carving out that time to care for them. I can't tell you what it does for my brain, you know, in terms of putting a bigger picture, bigger perspective on what life is and what's important about life. And it's not always about career and, you know, making money and all those things. It's like, how are you investing in yourself? How are you investing your time? How are you giving back? You know, those kinds of things they help for. And so with that, I noticed that my anxiety is less when I have them around.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm, you know, gone for 3 and 4 months at a time, you know, in a place that's unfamiliar. And so all these new things that are being presented to me while I'm asked to be my best creative self, you know, for work, I need something that then gives back to me.
Yeah.
So that's that. And then with the Mowgli becoming a therapy dog, it was by accident. I had invited a trainer. They've had so many trainers. I invited this trainer in to work on barking because they have a little terrier in them.
Yep.
And she got there, and within a few minutes, Mowgli just kind of like went to her and sat by her the entire time. And now to me, he does that all the time, so I didn't think anything of it. But she was the one that pointed out that he has a good sense of people. He should be a therapy dog. So he goes with me, or I go with him, really, because he's the main attraction, not me.
Oh, that's so
there's
cool.
Some adult learning centers that I've taken him to. I've taken him to hospitals. And he's so, I mean, like, it's so, what I thought was just so natural. I see how it blesses people that he can just be lifted and put in somebody's lap. And of course, he loves getting all the treats and loves getting all the pets, and he loves a ball. So I'll bring the ball and I'll let people throw the ball and he'll go run and catch it. And, you know, he's just in his world.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but he's also blessing and healing other people in the process.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And so it's just Mowgli who's a therapy
It's just
dog.
Mowgli because you can only do one at a time. And so Lola needs to go for her evaluation.
Okay, so the plan is for Lola to follow in Mowgli's footsteps.
Yeah,
or
I would love.
prints, I should say.
Yeah, I would love to eventually make all of them service animals.
You've mentioned in this conversation, like it sounds like you have a pretty deeply spiritual side to you. Is that fair?
That's very fair.
I've had a few conversations, and a lot of the times people see a connection between the spiritual world and the animal world. And I'm curious, for you, does that resonate? Do you see a connection between the two?
I always say when I die and come back, I want to come back as a very spoiled dog or cat. For sure. I think I even, this may be even going too far with it, but I sometimes think that animals were possibly human, in another life form or another lifetime.
Yeah.
But I definitely do. And that's just on if you want to look at it from a spiritual perspective, but from a scientific perspective, I think it also proves itself because even in their training, with trainers, they always encourage me to do nonverbal training with them. And so that's all spirit. That's all nonverbal communication. They also taught me that oftentimes dogs sense us through our smells.
Yep.
And so they can smell when we're afraid, when we're happy, when we're in a good mood, when we're in a bad mood. They can even be in the room, especially, and Dodson's really sensitive to this. I can be in the room with someone that I don't quite care for, but I'm being polite and being nice.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm walking them and there's someone on the street that I'm a little like, I don't know about this cat. He senses it. And I can see and feel him just perk up.
Yeah.
And his tail goes up straight. His ears go up. A couple of those hairs run down his back go up. And I'm like,
the hackles up. Yep.
Yeah, he's really sensing my energy right now. There's a part of it that I'm not mad at it. I encourage it because I do notice, this is going to sound really facetious to say, but I do notice the immediate respect that his presence brings. The little ones, people the little ones can bark and growl and people will be like, oh, that's cute. Oh. But he gets the barking or he gets the growling or he gets that little tight jaw. People think twice.
Yep. Yes.
And I'm not mad at it.
I'm curious, in that scenario where, let's say you're in a room and, as you said, there's someone that you have to interact with, but maybe not your favorite person, and Dodson is there and you can tell he's sensing something. Mm-hmm. Now, do you think he's sensing your reaction to the person, or is he having his very own reaction to the person, or both?
Maybe both.
Yeah.
Maybe both, because there are times where, he's off leash, maybe in a room of people, and he can go up to every person with, when you start having pit bulls, you sort of learn to read some of their physical and bodily cues.
Yep.
When his mouth is wide open, he's like, and he's rubbing up on people or leaning up on them. He is in his world. Yeah. When his jaws are tight and he's smelling a lot and he's looking a lot, he's sensing and sussing people out.
Yeah.
And sometimes he'll do that when I'm not even in, have him on leash, where you can really feel that tethering energy. He's just kind of sensing it himself. And I also I think he knows that he has a bad rap as a breed, because I notice when people immediately have an anxiety or an apprehension of him, he definitely feels that.
Right.
And I think it hurts his feelings to the point where he actually becomes what they fear, because he's so hurt that you would assume that he's going to hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they've all taken turns, right? I remember it was Doberman Pinschers, and then it was Rottweilers that everyone was, and then German Shepherds, and now it's Pit Bulls, and it's...
Mm-hmm. They are some of the biggest lovers I've ever encountered. And I don't know why he came in. I don't know why the universe had him in store for me. But I will say he's taught me a lot about making the wrong assumptions about things, about people, which then right? The larger lesson is don't judge a book by its cover, or by, a reputation that someone may have. Get to know them yourselves. But I truly walk in the blessing every day.
I have one more question. Thank you so much for sharing all this time and all these stories about your 3 pups. Healing has come up during this conversation in terms of Mowgli going and helping others heal. I wonder, like, for you, how much of a healing force have these dogs been for you?
So much. In navigating the loss of my father, in navigating the highs and lows of my profession.
Yeah.
Oftentimes you are constantly being sort of asked, or to sort of put out there to the universe, your worth, your self-worth, your talent, your ability is always sort of being placed under a microscope of sort. And so you always kind of have this judgment, or you live in this judgment of things, and they heal that ego. They heal that insecurity. They heal that vulnerability in me just by their pure excitement to see me when I walk through that door. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I could have the worst day.
So much, doesn't it?
I could have the worst day. I could come home. One of them could have pooped or threw up on the floor, and they are just looking at me like, "Hey, girl, hey, how's your day?" And so I what they give me emotionally, it makes me want to give back as best as I can to them.
Yeah, that's so lovely.
And Mowgli at the time, right now, is, he's going through, he's 8 now. They're 8. He's going through this heart murmur. And I say he's going through it because the doctors are like, I don't know how much longer he's going to live, and he needs to be on this medication and all these kinds of things. And I've taken a very holistic approach, and I'm researching. I'm actually reading these books now on herbal remedies for dogs, because it's like, I want him to have the best life that I could possibly provide because of the love and the joy and the healing that he has, given me so far.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, thank you, Adrienne. Honestly, this has been such a beautiful conversation, and hopefully it wasn't too bad of a conversation to have on your day off.
No, I loved it. I enjoyed it. Thank you. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I love my doggies. I feel like I talk to my boyfriend all the time about the dogs. So having a designated moment to be able to talk about them is great.
The healing force of dogs, so beautifully put by Adrienne C. Moore. You can catch her in the latest season of Poker Face on Peacock. And if you haven't already checked out Orange is the New Black or Pretty Hard Cases, I'd say this is your sign. And hey, if you're looking to support a pet-related cause today, Adrienne's got a few for you. As she mentioned in our chat, she's deeply involved in working with rescue animals and with organizations, including the ASPCA and Hope for Paws, which is where she got Lola and Mowgli.
I always believe that, there are enough dogs out there to rescue, to keep our hands and our hearts busy for a while.
We'll include links to both the SPCA and Hope for Paws in our show notes. And if you like what you're hearing on Furball Confidential, throw us a bone, will ya? Leave us a review. 5 kibbles would be our suggestion. Tell a friend, give us a follow. You know the drill. It all helps. Furball Confidential is created and hosted by me, Jen Moroz. Our show producer is Talia Schlanger. She also co-created our theme music with David Travers Smith, with Brian Kobayakawa on bass. Reza Daya does our sound and video design and editing. Danny Stover does our social media. Our show artwork is by Adrienne Foro. And Marina Hanna does our audience development. And thanks, as always, to the furball who started it all, Clutch. I'm Jen Moroz. See you next time on Furball Confidential.